Is it? All right.
All right, so it's my understanding on this case, the defendant had entered a plea, is that correct?
Correct. Yeah.
And did you plead no contest? The reason why I
I'm not
say
sure
that,
There was no contest or guilty, Your Honor.
it was no contest? Okay, because it's not written. Just one moment. All right, let me. Just one moment, let me review the stipulations. Oh, okay. Court is calling 2024 CR 0363, State of Texas versus Jacob Paul Moya. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense.
Jonathan Ross for the defense, Your Honor.
And are you Jacob Paul Moya?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you entered a plea on April 25th of no contest. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 12 months in the state jail facility. There is no application for community supervision, and the state is taking in consideration 2024 CR 3404 as your plea bargaining agreement. The court has had a chance to review the stipulations. The previous judge found that there was sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court is finding that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty as well, and the court will find you guilty. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report state?
No, Your Honor, but.
Any objections to the PSI report?
None, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any witnesses?
We don't, Your Honor, just arguing.
All right, I'll hear argument from the defense, and while the state is reviewing the PSI report, I'll hear argument from them after the fact.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Mr. Moya has been pretty open and direct in his narrative of the incident. Pretty open about and I think pretty honest about his personal difficulties and issues with drugs and alcohol. He didn't emphasize them a lot, but I do believe that he understands them to be serious.
So
And
translate for me, how does "I have problems with drug and alcohol" translate him to having been to prison before for robbery and having all of these cases? And according to what I read in the stipulations, stealing people's packages from mailboxes when people are waiting for their items and then they don't receive them because somebody has stolen them from mailboxes. I don't understand why the federal government is not involved because it's the theft of US.
Oh. He's accepted guilt of that. We have no justification for that, obviously, Your Honor. I was, the main 2 points that I would like to hit are that Mr. Moya, he's been in custody for about for 236 days now on this. He has been diligent in jail. He's not having trouble in jail. He has been attending AA twice a week since February. Seems,
So I'm assuming you're gonna ask for something less than 12 months in the state jail facility.
respectfully, Your Honor, yes.
All right, so why should I give him something, and maybe he knows, why should I give him something less than 12 months in the state jail facility? He's already been, if this is correct, he's been to prison before for robbery. And what I'm looking at in the PSI report, he has a theft case. He got deferred for it. Criminal trespass, burglary of a vehicle, failure to identify, another theft case that was dismissed. I'm not going to consider that because it was dismissed. A burglary of a vehicle, second. Failure to identify that was taken in consideration. Failure to identify that was dismissed. Failure to identify that was dismissed. Assault, bodily injury, married, dismissed, missing witness. Possession, penalty group 3, less than 28 grams, dismissed because there was no toxicology report. Evading arrest, detention, dismissed, placed on some other form of probation. Theft of $100, enhanced jail time. Burglary of a building, rejected, further investigation. Possession less than a gram, sentenced to 5 months. Another possession less than a gram, placed on probation, revoked. A theft case, sentenced to jail. Fraudulent possession of identifying items, probation terminated. Robbery, sentenced to 2 years in the prison. Another fraud case that was dismissed, convicted of other. And burglary of a vehicle with 2 convictions, sentenced to 6 months in the state jail. Then you have this case. So why should I consider giving him less than the 12? You want to raise your right hand?
Yes,
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
yes, Your Honor.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Jacob Paul Moya.
All right, what would you like to say?
Your Honor, I understand the severity of my charges. I understand my history, and I'm not trying to justify anything that I've done, but I mean, I have learned how severe this can get that I don't want to go away. I mean, this time it's just 12 months, I know, but next time it could be longer, and I'm not trying to see the next time. I'm not trying to do this. I see how this is. I'm not trying to do this. I can honestly say, I know I caught the charges just recently, but I do now think a little clearer, and I don't think how I was when I picked up the robbery or those other charges. I'm not that same person, and I don't want to be that person. I'm trying hard to push away from being that person.
I don't know why it's so hard not to steal.
Honestly, Your Honor, it's there. I think it's just easier to do it. I know people work hard for what they got.
I
People
don't know
still-
why people don't want to work anymore.
No, I was working, Your Honor. It was actually that week. I wasn't working. I wasn't home, but
So other people who were at work, because see, I want you to internalize what you did. Other people who were at work, waiting for their packages to be delivered. Maybe it's somebody's birthday gift. Maybe it's something somebody's mom sent to them. Maybe it's something a family member sent to them that can't be replaced. And there's somebody just waiting for the postman to drop items in the mailbox so they can steal it. Taking somebody's vehicle, breaking into a vehicle, stealing items. That's some item that somebody worked hard for. I always would tell, I've been a defense attorney. I would have clients They say, I don't have a job. I'm like, yeah, you do. They're like, what's my job? I'm like, you break into people's homes, you break into people's cars. That's your employment. While people are at work, you break into their house. Because I would always give my clients home truths to tell them, you need to look at what you're doing to society. You're a person in society that people have issues with because they're out here working hard, following the rules, and you're breaking them and breaking it in somebody's mailbox. I still don't know why the federal government doesn't start arresting people, because interference with the postal service, stealing mail, that's a federal offense. If you read the letters, even when a letter comes to your house and it's supposed to be in somebody else's mail, but the postman put it in your mailbox by mistake, you know what it says on there? It has a law on there about if you open this and it is not for you and you take it and you don't just put it back in the box, return to sender. Me personally, I always just drive around the corner, knock on my neighbor's door. Hey, they put this in my box by mistake. If it's junk mail, I just put it back in the mailbox because nobody wants junk mail really. But that's what you've been out here doing. And now you come to the court, you want sympathy saying you've learned. And I'm sure, hopefully, when you went to prison for robbery, did you learn anything from that experience?
Honestly, Your Honor, I'm not trying to justify, like I said, but when I went to prison, I was put in some difficult positions where I can honestly say, like, I pray that a lot of people that are about to go to prison, probably younger than me, don't experience or seen the stuff that I saw.
Now, here's the thing. I know horrible things happen in prison. It would be nice if people could be left alone, just do their time in prison and learn. But prison, really, the only way to be rehabilitated I see in prison, if you're like 100% about rehabilitation. I know people in prison, guess what? They get beat up. People in prison get their commissary taken from them. People in prison get raped. People in prison will rape people in prison. Then they get out and they go back to their wives, their family member, acting like nothing ever happened. Oh, yeah, I just raped him because guess what? We're in prison. This is what we do. I understand prison is a horrible place to be. Bear County Jail is a horrible place to be. I had clients who were over there who were bit by spiders. Next thing you know, they have a hole in their leg. It happens. It's a shame it happens. There's nothing I could do about that. If there is something I could do about it, I would be right in there doing something about it. So I understand prison is not a fun place. And honestly, it's not supposed to be a fun place. Some people say, when I'm released from prison, guess what? I have to watch my back 24/7 because I'm used to in prison watching my back 24/7 because you never know who's coming after you or what they're going to do. I understand. But you get out of prison, which you say was a difficult time for you, and then you come out and you still do this.
Well, Your Honor,
If
Oh,
if I could just interject on my bad.
yes.
I do understand. I wasn't on drugs when I had committed the offense, although I'm not trying to justify it. Since I've been in Bear County, I'd like to point out, I spoke with my lawyer. He said it would be a good idea. I was a painter from January, February, and I just recently stopped doing that. It was for a corporal, and then her husband, which is a sergeant for jail programs, hired me to do mattresses, and they actually said that since I've been doing such a good job, they want to move me to the main jail to show the people, the other inmates, how to do it because they're already going to be done with it there. They're starting like an initiative to I guess eliminate the damage of beds, to make them and clean them. And I mean, I like that me doing that working. That's honestly, I've lined up a job for when I get out. I'm really pushing forward to sticking to that plan because honestly, I like the energy and just how I am, how I am as a person when I'm working and I'm doing something productive.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
All right. I want to let you know, I internalized everything what you said, and I understand that you're on a path. You're trying to do better with your life. But sometimes sentencing is about punishment. And so I'm going to give you the 12 months. I'll give you credit for any time served. I'm going to take in consideration 2024 CR 3404. Did you review the trial court certification with your attorney? Did you sign it?
Oh, okay, yes, sir.
All right, because this is a plea bargaining agreement, because I followed your plea bargaining agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing, when you're released from the state jail facility, if you think you want to use drugs, if you're trying to find a place to stay, if you're trying to find a free place for rehab and you can't find it, if I'm still here, you can come back here. I will pick up the phone, call somebody with resources so that you cannot come back here again for this type of situation. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, okay?
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Option, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Dylan Bell,
Yes, Your Honor, present.